Hey everyone, it's Michael and
Reuben!
From Bullion Now, bullionnow.com.au, bringing you probably one of the most exciting days of the year and also one of the most stressful days.
It's a big one. It is a big one for us. We're talking about the Lunar New Year release out of the Perth Mints.
We are. It seems to be the biggest release even across the world. Even the other, because there are other manufacturers and mints that make lunar years, but it seems to be the Perth one that causes all the stir, no matter what country you go to around the world. And
it's late this year. It's a little bit later than normal, so it's interesting to see this in November.
It is. Normally we fire off in September with this.
Yep.
So
maybe they're just making sure everyone was extra excited and hyped for this one.
That's right. It's like delaying Christmas an extra couple of weeks. That's it. This is my first look, hands-on look. I've seen the pictures and all that sort of stuff, but this is my first get them in my hand look at these. So I'm a little excited.
Now, this isn't all that we're getting of them. This is a little bit of a sample box. Yeah, we're not... there's a little bit of a...
That'd just kill me if this was it.
Yeah, no, that's our allocation, Michael. Come on, everyone's waiting for them.
Yeah, I think if that was the case, I think we'd just close the doors for the day. I'm not taking that level of abuse.
But we've got a bit of a sample pack sent down so that we can take a look at these things in person, because it's one thing to look at the designs, it's another entirely to go, oh, there's the coin itself. I like that. I don't like that. All that kind of stuff.
And we have sizes.
Yes,
we varieties have sizes and colours.
There we go.
And I believe in this parcel here, if I unwrap it, there are other sizes, not colours.
Yes, we'll need to talk about that. We'll need to talk about the plan for selling them, all that kind of jazz as well.
Are we selling them?
Well, yeah.
I thought we were keeping them all for ourselves.
I've misread the situation.
All right. So let's. Why don't we target the silver first?
Target the silver. Do we want to start with the 2 ounce to look at the biggest planchet?
Actually, yeah, let's go through design, then we'll go through what we're going to do after the design. So all the silver designs are exactly the same. They're different to the gold design. And I have to be honest, I actually prefer the gold design to the silver design. I don't know if
is that a first? Is that a first? Or like do you...
Actually, it's not.
There you go.
So there we go. Now I've got to work out which way around to go. It's that one. So you can see here they've stepped away, and this is what's disappointed me, I think. They've stepped away from the traditional...
The mother and baby?
We can't call it mother and baby because...
That's a separate series.
Yeah, it's a different series. But if you go back through the silver lunar series, in the silver they've always done effectively a mother and a baby of that animal. And they've stepped away from that with the dragon. I'm actually a little disappointed that they've done that.
Yeah.
It would have been good if they'd continued it on. They've chosen not to. They've gone with this design, which I think we're going to find is a little controversial, if I'm completely honest.
Well, that's it. I think there will be people that were really hanging out, that really enjoyed that kind of mother and baby concept. And there'll be others that have actually been saying all throughout, oh, I wish there was the solo dragon or something, or, the solo animal on there, on the silver as well. I think there'll be a few people like that are excited.
Yeah, I think so. I think the problem is because they've stepped away from the traditional design, I think they're going to upset most people.
All right.
Because the people that expected it to be the mother and baby are going to be disappointed.
Yep.
The people that expected, the grand design, I think are going to go, well, hang on a sec, it's not even kind of in the series. It's a complete step away. It's the water dragon. You can see it's, I'm trying to give it a polite term, but spewing water from the mouth.
Yep.
There, it's if you put this in the middle of the 2023 Silver Lunar Series across the 12 years, it's going to be the odd one out. It's not going to look, assuming they keep the traditional design for the remaining of the series, it's going to be the one that kind of goes, hang on a sec, is that actually part of the set? Because it doesn't even look like it's part of the set to me.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if I fear they've missed the mark with it.
Yep.
Don't get me wrong, it's still going to be insanely popular. It's still going to sell out insanely quickly. It's still, this is not financial advice, it is still going to be one of the ones to pursue to complete your set.
couple of details on there. We've got like the orb, the sun with the flames around it. That's a bit of a throwback, reminiscent thing to the Series 1 and 2 designs. Yeah. You can see that there. And the other thing that's interesting with this one is we've got the P for the Perth mint mark, but it's also got a 125 after it. Perth 125. It is their 125th year.
I've looked at this design a number of times and never actually noticed
so
that.
It's very, very small on there. You can kind of make it out a little bit easier on the 2 ounce. That's the advantage of the larger plancher there. But yeah, a little bit of a different thing in there. Now, you want to turn it over, Michael?
That's right. Other controversial thing about this one.
Yes.
It's a 2024 design. It has 2024 stamped on the front there. Well, actually, it's on the reverse. It's not the front.
Yeah.
And then on the obverse side, we have Queen Elizabeth, which I was actually surprised when I first saw it. But I think initially I was almost disappointed. But I actually really like the fact that they've continued on. And apparently, because I phoned the Perth Mint as soon as I saw it and went, what's the go? Is this actually the design, or have you just... Because we saw the marketing material first.
Yep.
Is this a misprint, or are you actually going with it? And they said, no, we're going with the 2023 commemorative memorial design, because we're allowed to use that up to the end, I believe, of May 2024. And so they are going to continue it. My understanding, though, and again, I'm speaking out of turn here, so I may be proven wrong, my understanding is that going forward after that, they will actually move to King Charles for the remaining of Series 3.
There we go. So we're going to have a bit of a split between the Series 3.
Yeah. So I don't know if this is good for the rabbit or bad for the rabbit, because we were talking initially about the rabbit being the only one of the whole Lunar series that had that design.
Yep.
Now we've actually got 2 with that design.
Yep.
Don't know if that matters or not. We'll have to see how that plays out over time. But look, I think overall, good design, just not what we expected.
Yep.
And I think that's going to cause people to kind of go, oh, I think it'll still be popular. It's still certainly going to sell out.
I was going to say, I think I can say almost to an extent that it doesn't matter. I think the Dragon is a release that is just so highly anticipated. I don't want to say people won't stop to check, but I think it will be flying off shelves before.
Absolutely. I think in and of itself, if this was just a Dragon release that they'd done generally, I think it would be very popular.
Yeah.
The fact that it's the Lunar Dragon, I think, is just going to cause pause. But having said that, I think that could create potential investment opportunity, which we'll talk about either later on in this video or another video if we do it in another video. We'll link down to that if we do.
Let us swap to the other metal. Let's have a look.
We don't want to do the other sizes
Well,
first?
I mean, we've seen that design. Let's swap over to the gold and then we can come back to the full variety.
A couple of quick things in the silver. There is only the ½ ounce, the 1 ounce and the 2 ounce available on release day.
Yep.
The other sizes will be released throughout the following 12 months.
Yep.
Okay? Just be aware of that. All right, the gold design. I actually really like the gold design.
Excited to see this one.
So that is the gold design, and I think they've done a bang-up job with this one.
Very classic Chinese-looking dragon there.
Yeah, it is. So, and it's kept in tradition, I would argue, with the rest of the series. It's the single dragon, or the single animal.
Yeah.
In that, I don't want to say aggressive pose, but in that more majestic pose. That was the word I was looking for. So I actually think they've nailed it with the gold.
Yeah, I think you could put that one amidst the others and go, yep, this fits along with the rest of the set, which is kind of what you're going for.
Yeah. So it's a great design. You've got as I said, you've got the majestic dragon there, and even in the background, you've got these waves in the background, and I'm assuming these are clouds, but I haven't actually looked them up. But you know, these squiggles in the background as well. Again, 2024 design, and on the reverse, we are looking at the Queen Elizabeth again. So yeah, like I said, I think with the gold they've done well. They've nailed it. Silver, I'm querying. The other sizes that you're going to be able to get on release day are the 1 ounce. Correction, the 1 ounce.
The 1 ounce.
The 1/4 ounce.
Yep.
And the 1/10. And again, the other sizes will follow as manufacturing capacity allows.
Yep.
So that's going to cause a couple of things that we do need to talk about moving forward. So the 1 ounce in the gold, the silver and the platinum, we don't have the platinum displayed here. The design is exactly the same design as the gold for those that are watching at home.
I'm looking forward to seeing that.
So limited editions. They limit the production numbers of the 1 ounce silver to 300,000, the 1 ounce gold to 30,000, and the 1 ounce silver, help me here, Reuben, it is 5,000, isn't it?
So the 1 ounce platinum.
Sorry, the 1 ounce platinum.
Yeah, I believe
is 5,000.
Yeah.
So that causes a couple of interesting things. Everyone madly pursues the 1 ounce, and I think you should. If it's part of your stack, part of your stacking theory, part of your collection, all those types of things, absolutely grab the 1 ounce, because usually the 1 ounce silver sells out within a few days to a couple of weeks. The 1 ounce gold usually sells out within 6 to 8 weeks.
Yep.
The 1 ounce platinum usually sells out on the day.
Yep.
Possibly 2 days if you're lucky. You will find it here and there at different places manage to either secure more or release.
Or just when their deliveries come through, I think is more often the case.
So those ones you need to grab fairly quickly if you want them in your stack at release price. Now, I would suggest until you're going to see them start appearing fairly quickly at much higher prices. I caution you against buying the 1 ounce at the higher prices, because what we traditionally see is release price, spike price, and then when everyone calms down after Chinese New Year next year, you'll actually see that usually you'll see the price roll off and come down a bit. So if you miss out on the initial release, my strong suggestion is don't get caught up in the I have to buy it now bubble. Take a really deep breath and wait until probably that February, March next year, and then start pursuing again. Because even if the price doesn't come down, it's not going to go up massively, I don't believe. So you'll miss out. The worst case scenario is it won't come back and you'll still pay that inflated price. But I think there's a fairly good chance you're going to be able to secure it. Not at the initial purchase price. I don't think it'll come back to that. But certainly not at that inflated price that you're going to see leading up through Christmas and into Chinese New Year.
Yep, so that's it. We do, for the moment, just have this one little sample pack. So we will be doing some pre-orders on these. So head down to the links in the description. We should have all the ones listed there with how long we're estimating until they come in. But yeah, it'll be a bit of an interesting year. The Dragon, like I said before, a very popular year. Potentially a bit of an upset with the Solo Dragon on the silver, and definitely I think a little bit of controversy around the effigy used as well. So definitely going to be an exciting year, I think. So
hit the links below. We'll link all the releases down below. Now be aware with the silver 1 ounce, we're going to make it one per customer for the first 24 hours. Now, yes, that's going to cause some people to get frustrated and annoyed, and I apologise for that right from the start. But this is a limited. I know 300,000 sounds like a lot. It's not.
Yeah.
Because it goes worldwide, and if we're lucky, they will keep 5% of them within the country, and then those 5% that they keep in the country have to be spread around all the bullion dealers that support Perth Mint. So no one is getting a lot of them. Everyone is getting very limited numbers. So we've decided for the first 24 hours on the web, and we will release an allocation for the web. We will release them for the phones, and we'll release them to the store. But for the first 24 hours, we are limiting them to one per person. Now, if you try and game the system, we'll pick up on it and we will cancel all your orders, not just the one. And I'm not trying to be nasty. I'm just trying to spread the love and make it fair for everyone.
Yep.
So one per person for the first 24 hours. After that, we're going to make it fair game because we figure 24 hours is enough time for everyone to have a crack at it.
Yep.
And then we'll just release whatever's left onto the web or the phones or through the store, and away they'll go. We won't limit the number of gold because we've actually secured a really good supply of the gold for this year.
Awesome.
The platinum, again, will be limited to one per person, and they won't last long. Honestly, if you're into the platinum market, secure them wherever you can because they will just go so quickly. There is every chance that we're going to sell it. Last year, with our platinums, we sold out, I think, in less than an hour, and Perth Mint lasted about 10 minutes longer than we did.
Yep.
So secure them as rapidly as you can if the platinum is in your stack. The sleeper, I actually believe, is in the other sizes. I absolutely believe you should get the 1 ounce. if it's in your collecting or stacking ethos. But you'll actually find if you go back through the previous years that it's the other ones that everyone says, oh, they're unlimited, I won't worry about it. They're not actually unlimited, and I've talked about this a number of times. They're actually mint to water, or mint to capacity. So quite often the ½ ounce, and particularly the 2 ounce, and particularly the 5 ounce, if you look back on previous editions, they don't produce many of them for the year. So they're the ones that are the sleepers. So in 2 or 3 years' time, quite often, people go, well, I've completed my 1 ounce set. I think I'm going to go for a 5 ounce now, or a 2 ounce, or a ½ ounce. And so they start chasing backwards. And of course, by that time, you can't buy them through the likes of Bullion Now anymore. So they're having to source them from the collector market, and the collectors are very reluctant to let them go. So that's where we see the bigger price increases, believe it or not, is in the other sizes as a rule. Again, this is not financial advice.
And we'll of course keep you updated with release dates on those when we know them, and because they'll be a little bit scattered. Some are typically just production. We normally see the 1/20th fairly soon after release, and then something like the 5 ounce and the kilo and the silver and ones like that we won't typically see until the following calendar year. Yeah.
As far as release numbers go, with the halves and the 2 ounce in the silver, the 1/10 and the 1/4 in the gold, assuming our deliveries keep going through the way that we've organised them from Perth, there's no hold-ups there, there should be no restrictions on them, and we should be able to flow them through, at least for the first 2 months or so. Depending on demand, we don't expect there to be any supply issues with those. The 1 ounce, as we've already talked about, are going to be fun and games.
Good stuff. All right, I reckon we've gone on long enough here, Michael.
I agree.
Yeah, we've got all the links down below. Check them out, and we'll see what happens.
That's it. We'll talk again soon. See ya.